Okay, I'd like to call the meeting of the zoning board of appeals of Canandaigua order. I will begin with a pledge to the flag and follow that with a moment of silence for our troops.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay. Just want to review for you our procedures as we listen to the request for variances. The person who's requesting the variance will present to us why they want the variance. We can ask questions of the applicant at that time. After they have exchanged the information they feel necessary, we can then open it up to the audience, both online and here in the room, for any comments or questions. Any comments should be made to us and not to the applicant. Okay, and then once all the information is, people are satisfied with that, we can close the public hearing. We have 62 days to make a decision. After closing the public hearing, we would make it on the night of the presentation. Okay, so we'll get started. First one is Scott Harder for 4699 North Menteith Drive. It's a lot coverage variance of 4.5% is needed, where 25% is maximum, and 29.5% is proposed. Building coverage variance of 1.6% is needed, where 15% is maximum and 16.6% is proposed.
Good afternoon, good evening. I'm Scott Harker, the site engineer for the project, and I'm here with Jay Harris Maxwell, who's the architect for the project. I'll probably speak initially just with site-related items, and then I think Jay will speak to inform you about the variance request from the building perspective. The owners are online and attending the meeting that way. Our request, as mentioned, was for an additional percentage on the building coverage and additional percentage on the lot coverage due to the proposed layout and alignment. This proposed conditions is different from the existing conditions, and especially one way, which is that we're proposing a side load garage that supersedes the end load garage under the existing conditions. The reason for that is ease of access. It is more commensurate with the neighborhood. The neighborhood of the south has the side load entrance as well. And the end load garage, if we were to redo it, would bind there because we have the 10-foot separation that really wasn't adhered to when the original driveway was first put in. Also, the existing driveway binds at that location where it intersects the common drive. It's not a comfortable turn in or turn out. And the driveway where we have it shown to the south is much safer. In putting this all together, the hatched area, which represents I'll call it the courtyard, with pervious pavers, we're proposing to use the pervious pavers as a means to mitigate the stormwater increase from the increased coverage percentages. One of the comments we received from the review that came from actually Ontario County Soils, I believe, Sarah Reynolds, who's now over there, made the comment about whether we could take and treat and mitigate the additional runoff from the additional coverage percentages that we're seeking a variance for. And so we have done that, and I uploaded yesterday the calculations in support of the pervious pavement and the stone layer that we're proposing to put beneath it so as to hold up to a 25-year storm, approximately 4 inches of rainfall, which actually comes up right about at the northwest corner of the drawing. You can see County Road 16. The drainage area flows down from the highway, the county highway, onto North Mentis Drive and heads towards the structure. So the pervious pavers are in an ideal location to grab and hold water and treat the water that was mentioned as an item of concern. The request is for coverage percentages. We have no request for any setback variances. We have no request for any height variances. We're trying to fit everything into those parameters, but we do have a slight overage with respect to the lot coverage, as mentioned, and the building coverage. I think I'll let Jay give you a little information on the building so he can tell you more from his perspective.
And thank you, Jay Harris Maxwell with Hamlin Architects. When the owners, Jason and Rachel, proposed this house, again, tear down and build new, we were just trying to keep in mind that we want to do a modest size home, really living area on the first floor is around 2,600 square feet. But that includes items that would typically you would find in a basement area. There's mechanical spaces that we have to have up on the first floor because we're in the floodplain area here, so we really can't do a full basement. So we have components of mechanical areas that would happen. And if I can point to the screen and kind of show you some elements for, right now, here's the garage that's on the site. It's about 2.5 car garage. There's spaces in there for storage for lawn equipment, the lakeside watercraft, everything to store in there, and also patio furniture during winter time months. The front of the house actually comes across here, so it's about 350 square foot covered patio up front here. There would be a dining room table, sitting area, and grilling area, and then also there's a covered entry here for the front door entrance to the house. So what we're looking at is some of the coverages that are exterior elements. That's kind of tipping us over that square footage that's here, that additional percentage over. But again, because we're either a slab on grade or just a crawl space that would be really not functional for mechanicals, a lot of those components are going to be up on this upper level. They also have bonus room upstairs for additional usage where, again, rec rooms not able to be downstairs and a basement like you would normally see. So we're trying to accommodate additional space for their living needs on this first floor area. So again, we have been trying to keep a modest size home, fit within the setbacks, and we are within the height. So right now that's a quick description of the living plan and why we're over the square footage, building coverage.
Is it a full second story?
Not a full second story. There's some open vaulted spaces that are in there. So we're probably 1,200 square feet second floor. And again, same thing up on the second floor. We're having zoned areas so that additional mechanical spaces upstairs planned for. Again, something that would normally be in a basement area, but we just can't achieve that in this location. And right now it's designed as a 4-bedroom house. We have a additional bonus space that's in there. So again, we're trying to keep things within a modest size residential project.
Have we granted any similar variances that you know of in that area?
I mean, one that I know of is down at the southern end of Mentee, which is the Brovitz house, which we've had. There's several variances on that location. Lot coverage, building coverage.
Right. But something, yeah, I mean, like I'm trying to get a comparison. Right. This is kind of a modest square footage, correct? I mean,
this is, yes.
Which the other ones are much larger.
I don't know what the Brovitz turned out to be the final square footage for that. Footprint could have been first floor footprint could have been relatively the same, but again, that was mechanicals had to be on the upper levels there. I know that the house just to the south seems newer, but I'm not familiar with what that job is, if there was any variances with that. I don't know if Scott knows if there's anything up and down else on Menteith that would have been variances in this area.
I think there was a house 2 doors to our north that had quite a few variances from you folks.
I remember some of them.
Is this gonna be bigger than what you're tearing down?
It is, do you know the footprint of the existing?
Not exactly, but yes, it is larger than the existing home. I'd probably buy, I'm guessing 50%.
I mean, we're larger in garage area as well as living area, so kind of, you know, exponentially, they're both kind of increased in size.
So you're basically doubling it. That's what you're saying, right? Well, almost. Well,
We're
not
doubling the footprint,
almost.
we're doubling the size.
They
I
similar
think it's about, was about a 50% increase. So if it
50%.
was-
So, okay, so
So not 100%, but
not
50%.
100%, right? But, okay. But the ground floor. Correct? Am I getting
Can
this?
you, is there a previous plan shows the existing footprint of the project?
Let me see what it looks like. Before and after,
Yeah, so right now, again, this is the existing home right here.
right?
And partially of that is the garage is here. And again, at that point in time, it'd be a 2-car garage, but really size for 2 cars, and that's it, really no storage inside the garage. And they have patios out front.
Right, and the patio there is fully open. Our patio is now at least half enclosed, right? So that counts as building coverage.
Have we granted variances for this location in the past that you guys know of?
Not to my knowledge, no.
And this is it part of the same family or is it different family house? Because there is a family down there who owns several properties, I believe.
Not this one.
Not this one, okay. I was just wondering if it was the same.
I don't think it's this one.
I drove by it.
No, you're thinking.
Thank you. Yeah.
Believe the county recommended denial. Do you have any comments on that?
That'd be the engineering part of what go do.
Well, I'm familiar with that comment that comes from the county, and I understand that they look at it from an environmental perspective, and the fact that the lake is a public water supply, and they don't want to see anything pose a problem for potential water pollution and that sort of thing. I believe that the mitigation that we're showing with the pervious pavers and the stone base and its location, which is ideal for capturing of slope water. It's my opinion that that's a real good opportunity with a site. We don't have sites with that particular opportunity all the time. It works well in this application. And I'd also like to think that the percentages that we're asking for are relatively small. And for the board to consider that we are staying within all the other parameters that I mentioned, the roof height and side and front setbacks. So I understand the county's review, and I've received that many times, and it's strongly worded, and in some cases it's even intimidating, I would say, to people. Which is why we're proposing the mitigation that we're proposing to offset any negative impact that would be associated with that. I'm not sure that the county necessarily addressed that in the review. I think when they issue that statement, it's almost boilerplate as to what I received on the previous variance
We
request
added the permeable pavers after the county review.
before. It's been shown all along.
Is there any comparison between what's there existing and, I mean, when you're saying about the water mitigation, I mean, is it may be an improvement or not? I mean,
Well, right now the water rolls down the hill and goes around the north and south sides of the building based on under existing conditions. And so there is no mitigation. It just goes straight around the house. And
well, that's what I'm wondering if is it an improvement per se
Yes.
or?
By virtue of having that located exactly where it's located, we can pick up and hold water And another thing that we've learned since submitting the plans to you folks is we've been out to do soil testing for the wastewater system. And the soil that we can access in the subsoil beneath the topsoil is quite porous. We were surprised to find the results we found. And that was witnessed by the watershed inspector. The only thing I wanted to mention that has come to our attention since we submitted the plans, now I think almost 2 months ago, is that we neglected to show a provision for potential steps on the east and the north sides of the house. And because that would technically be coverage, we wanted to see if it might be possible to amend our request for an additional 0.2% to cover the steps.
You have to resubmit because it has to be posted because
Okay.
it's additional coverage.
Okay. Well, I
That's
thought I'd
my
add.
understanding, correct?
Correct. I told the owners that I would ask.
All right, but at least we got to hear. So, do we want to take questions
The
tonight?
county, I agree with some of the statements, but the county, since they ruled against it, we would have to have a supermajority.
Right.
As you know.
Understood.
Do we want to go through those out like tonight?
Yeah. they- Does the owner want to add anything? Or-
Jason or Rachel, do you have anything that you'd like to say?
Hi, this is Jason Pizer. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, thank you very much. I wasn't expecting to speak, but thank you for the invitation to speak. And thank you, Scott and Jay. My wife is Rachel Weinstein is also on the phone on the Zoom call. Let me just turn off on mute so I don't have an echo here. Apologies. And thank you all for your time and consideration in reviewing our submission. I guess I'd like to add that our family has been is from the area. We've been coming down to the area, and this house was originally in my wife's family for about over 2 decades. We've been part of this point, like I said, coming down there for over 20 years. We enjoy our time very much, and our submission is really as Jay and Scott highlighted, the footprint is relatively similar, but we're adding more space so we can accommodate our family in a more comfortable way and get more utilization out of the space. This is a location that we intend to spend much more time on, especially as we start to enter our retirement years. If there's any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you.
Very good.
Are you satisfied, Scott, with what was presented?
I think we.
Or would you like to continue to amend your application, allow
Yeah.
for public notice? For a point.
I think we'll run with what we have and seek a decision tonight if you could provide it to us.
And would you submit a separate for the step provision? Oh, okay,
We would if indeed we go that way, yeah.
Gotcha.
Anybody in the audience have any questions on the? There's only the applicants at home, I think. So. Okay, we comfortable with closing the public hearing? Okay, we'll close the public hearing. We have 62 days to make a decision. We'll provide that to tonight.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Okay, the next application is from Kenneth Newsminder, 5043 North Road. An 8-foot side setback variance is needed where 7 feet is proposed and 15 feet required. To allow for construction of a garage on a parcel that is bisected by the municipal boundary with the city of Canandaigua.
You want to introduce those gentlemen who are nicely dressed behind you?
These are my sons, Samuel, Chadwin, Conrad, and Joshua.
Welcome, fellows.
we're, yeah, just proposing to build a garage for Beverly Safford on the lot there, just where it's, marked out, just a 14 by 20 garage, and it's nothing real, nothing more to say, really.
The side setback for the driveway is.
Yeah, it's gonna be right in line with the driveway there. The line is.
I guess because of the being in two municipalities, it gets rid of some of the issues we sometimes have.
You know what the city's setback requirements are?
I don't, off the top of my head, probably less than ours because cities are generally closer, but
Well, that's what I
you know,
wondered.
that kind of defines the character of the neighborhood here.
I was gonna say the house next to it, look at the, how close it is to the line on the
Yeah,
other side. I
A lot
mean,
of
it's
very close ones through there.
Do you know what the
Yeah.
city side setback is?
what is,
Let's Google that.
They said we're out of the. That it's up to you guys, it's nothing to do with the city.
We're just trying to establish the character of the
city.
What's that?
We're trying to establish the character of the neighborhood and
We can eyeball that.
Right.
Kim's gonna show us the neighborhood.
gonna whip it up. There we go.
Show us some of the ones in the city if you want.
There's,
South. Yeah, you're good there.
this is a purple line, so,
Yeah, the purple line is the
gotcha,
municipal board.
okay.
that helps.
And at some point, the town has started making efforts to adopt the remainder of those properties into the town instead of the city, which is,
So it's right
Oh,
on the
I
property.
see.
yeah, so that they'll be returned to single parcels and they'll all be in the town, not, the city.
Okay, got
Started.
Interesting.
Sorry.
it.
For what it's worth, yes, Google says that the city side requirement, side setback requirement is 8 feet. Detached structures is 5 feet from the property line.
For what it's worth, that sounds probably like it's right. It's a city neighborhood that's about what they should be for a city.
However, that neighborhood is, it looks like they're all kind of like that.
Very much easier, yeah. I agree.
Ben, you have a comment?
His house is out of character.
Yeah.
I just want a garage. I don't have to clean the straw off my vehicle anymore, it's getting harder.
Any other questions? You satisfied with what you've presented to us? Are there any comments or correct questions from the neighbors or?
I'm the one on the left-hand side of the house right there. I own the property 45 Lake Road.
Okay,
And I have no problems with the shed going up or the garage going up. And I feel more comfortable with her having it, so she doesn't be outside in the winter.
nice,
I usually clear her driveway every winter because she can't do anything.
perfect.
And, well, she can't clear her driveway by herself. She still can,
Yeah.
I take care of her property, take care of her driveway and everything else.
I can understand that, having known her for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry, what was your name?
Cameron Rosado.
Thanks for coming to
Yeah,
say that.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Anybody on, no, anybody? Okay, are you satisfied with what's been presented?
We have a question?
Pardon me?
Just so you guys
Oh.
know, for the city, their side setback, total is 8 feet. So.
Total.
Be 8 on one and 0 on the other, or.
Ah.
Really?
That's
In
interesting.
this zoning district, I looked up their zoning map,
Uh-huh.
because obviously it's half their yard.
That's interesting.
Okay. That is interesting.
What happens if the neighbor on the one side wants to be on the 0 and the other one wants? Right?
Well, we have the affected neighbor here.
I'll take the two.
Yeah,
Who
right.
is- Okay,
Just to be clear, you're the affected, this is.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's
He
going
said
towards
50,
my fence a little
45.
bit, but I have no problem,
Yeah,
so.
50, 45. you said.
And that's not official, I don't represent the city. because-
Yeah.
Thank you.
We don't like the changes for the city and town either, so. It's,
Sounds way better.
okay. We'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Close the public hearing, we have 62 days to make a decision. We'll try to get to it tonight, yeah, and welcome to stay around for our deliberation. Or otherwise you can call Mike in the morning. Okay, next one.
Well, have a good night.
back home to eat.
There you go.
Appreciate the
Dinner.
consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Like,
You're welcome.
Pardon me?
like their nice shirts on the side of.
Well, yeah.
This is, next one is Grove Engineering, Harry Ayers. This is for 4243 State Route 21 South. The applicant is requesting a 10-foot side variance, side setback variance when 10 feet is required and 0 is proposed for a driveway located where there is an existing road cut into Keister Road, associated with single stage plan, site plan, converting an existing agricultural barn into a single family dwelling with associated improvements in the AR2 district.
Be me, I'm Travis Woolley, I'm the property owner. So let's see, long story short, I live on Monk Road, I have a farm down there. This parcel I bought and added into my farming acreage as well as some other ones in the town. For which we're gonna take hay off of, I just purchased it a couple of years ago. Long-term vision is to make that a house that I'm moving to at some point. So I did, and I have built that under an ag process because it gives me more time, right? It is a barn I took down and putting up. It's a multiple year process to do a house. When I came to town originally, it's, you have a small window to 18 months to build a house. And I was told to get variances would be unlikely. So I said, let's do it all unconventionally. And how would I build an ag structure that I can put equipment if I need to into it. And then I'd apply, build it, meeting code and go forward that way for a house submission plan that I'm doing now. I knew when I did the submission that the driveway would be on the line, so it's unconventional. The reason I did it was several parts. One, as we know, it was Keister Road. It was already a cut basin. It made sense to put the driveway down through there and preserve the rest of the property. To get the 10-foot setback, I'd have to take out the lone hedgerow that's there, of which there's substantial trees and I like to have the privacy. And to go farther than that, then I'm inside the hay lot and I'd lose, an acre of farm grass. So for me, it made sense to roll it in where there was already a roadbed. And so I understand that technically to be imposed. So that's where that's it. I mean, what else? Field me some questions.
So. The survey map shows a pond. And this site plan doesn't show that pond. There.
In the lower right?
No, see the green circle?
Yeah, there's a little water
Right,
hole.
right to the right of that. Sort of right to the northeast, I guess, where the red arrow points, quite frankly. Of that note is right. Go 45 degrees up to the
Yeah, at the beginning of the property, there is a pond there.
Yeah.
Along the roadbed,
but it's not shown on the map, I don't think.
right? It's it dries up all summer, and in the spring it's wet and then it's gone again.
It's there now.
Yes. I have done all the DEC and wetland delineations and all that stuff ahead of time. To make sure the building setbacks are all correct and everything else is copacetic, just the roadbed and the driveway.
Is there a roadbed in there farther back?
Yep, it goes all the way over the hill, and I can't speak it from Kramer Road to Middle Cheshire Road. There used to be a right of way there, and then in the 70s it was abandoned, quasi abandoned. County didn't finish the paperwork on the maps, but it was in all the deeds. And then we went to the town highway to see if they're gonna extend the road through there and what the plan was. If they were, they weren't, and we said it's never gonna happen, as Fletcher said, and so then and Ani corrected the maps, and each property owner got their half of that easement that used to be there. The Middle Cheshire to Kramer Road and halfway to Cheshire had disappeared beforehand. I'm not sure why that one disappeared from the maps before this last leg did.
Zeros are hard in setbacks.
Yes.
Precedents, who owns the property on the other side of the easement?
Dave Pearl Jr. and Senior.
And I'm opposing this variance, and I have multiple things I'd like to talk in a minute. When it's double.
Fair enough. I'm just stating, I mean, the last meeting I ended up voting for something that I thought I never would do either, but zeros are really hard. I mean, zero setback is, I mean, I'm not a fan of all setbacks, but when you break it down that way, that's hard. And especially if there is another way to avoid the variance, that's kind of the way we're especially if it's not just substantial, it's beyond substantial to go to, no setback.
Right, so then I lose.
I'm just being real.
No,
I'm saying.
I appreciate everyone's honesty. So so they had to lose more acreage in the field, or
I understand.
It stays ag the way it is, and it doesn't become a house, and it'd be a farm driveway to the barn. Understood.
So the only way you could do it is swing it out and
No, to clear out the whole hedgerow, or swing out probably 40 feet. And then 40 feet, and then the pond at the entry and everything else. It basically push it in towards the middle of the property.
Can you use the fill? Can you use the fill off the easement?
No, brought in.
So the driveway exists.
Yes.
Is that built as part of Keister, or they planned Keister, or did you drive?
No, when Keister was planned, they came through and cut. It's still there. It's clear. They cut all the way through.
Okay.
And drew in
That's
some
all that's
gravel
there?
and then they just.
There is a gravel base.
Yeah, it just didn't. I'm not
So
sure.
you're seeking to just leave it as is.
Easter is a right of way, doesn't it, right?
Yes.
That ends at the
water
beginning
front.
and at the left
Yeah.
of the property of this site.
You a way to show this on Google Maps? Where
Sure. But. Yeah, you should. Oh, there we go.
On the hedgerow, that's good.
Step up here closer. Zoom in here. So as you see, Houston Road, the right of way used to be basically this line here. Very down.
Yep.
All the way through. And so then when it was readjusted. This yeah, it's 28 feet, I can't remember, but each side. So right down the center, so I got this.
24.75 feet.
Okay, yep, so then they got their half, I got half, goes right down the middle of the road, and so straight down. Straight down along that, and then there's a power line easement right through here, where the power line guys come through and access it. Use the driveway now. But you have to change it. The pond, swamp, water holes here. So I'd have to come in over here and come down through the whole way. Or you know, there's substantial trees there, I want to see that. Right. You might want to say if you allow. So that's why I actually just stuck them right down the road. And we had other discussions with the adjoining property owner at the time of the driveway. Nothing in writing or anything, and I respect their positions of what they want to state, but at the time it was fine to put the driveway through there as long as we made the base acceptable for if it was a roadway or Easter Road ever opened up again, was what their hope was. Or senior's hope was. I can't speak for David Jr. But so I put the driveway in, and fortunately I held it to my side. So originally, you know, go right on through.
Wait, you put the driveway in? I thought it was there.
The road was there, but I built it up.
You added, was there gravel already?
Yeah, but I added a lot of gravel.
You added more gravel?
Yes.
Oh,
Because there was a wet area in the middle of the whole thing. It's always been wet getting through the bare fields and my side. So yeah, I built it all up.
A couple things from a staff, John has one, if we zoom in on that. Under that road, yeah. You'll see that more of how this driveway is and how it goes out and around the pond, so it's not technically on his property from what this map is showing.
Yeah, what it was, yep.
So. I guess it's more than the variance of 0.
Well. I have it surveyed and I have it staked with survey before I put the road in, so I know it's right on the line. I have it surveyed, the stakes are still there, but I will say down here, yes, down here, it's over. About here, it does go over, and we share this big entrance, and I'm in the process of building this over to make this section on mine, because yeah, that's, we're using both sides.
And then the other thing I just want to bring up is the wetlands.
Yep.
You mentioned that you had DEC review this. I
DEC,
believe you had them review it for your ag structure and not the driveway. And if we turn on the DEC wetlands layer, you'll see that where you're proposing this or where you have installed this is in wetlands. And that blue area is on our map, or there's the wetland indication.
okay, so that, in that section there is basically the driveway we've been using the whole time. I haven't installed anything there, we're maintaining what we have used to get into the fields on both sides. This has been, this driveway's been here for this portion to get to the field, and here I have a gate here I put in where I've done my improvements. I am working on filling this in, I won't deny, I didn't realize, but yeah, this is the town.
don't keep filling it in if it's a wetland, because you can't put anything else there.
So then, yeah, this here, all was put in by the town, this section here is still original. I did not put that in.
So that would be a concern I want to bring to the board that
Oh, yeah, I shouldn't be filming.
without DEC approval, nothing should be happening in that area.
Like, without the wetlands being delineated, I mean, maybe. These are informational wetlands, but I'd recommend you don't make a decision here until. Bill Grove maps out the wetlands and tells you whether that's, theoretically an error, I don't know, but. You can't decide you can't approve a driveway in a wetland like this.
Okay.
And you can't, I would think you wouldn't want to keep dumping stuff in.
Okay, I would not anymore. I'll ask for Soul Grove to review that.
Yeah, check with Bill. Maybe there's something we're missing, but I would not recommend making any decisions on this.
Can we see more to the east there?
I'll reach out to the guy from the state that did the wetland survey and all that stuff.
Looks like some wetland may come back down into the right. Further east.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the side of that.
What's that down to the lake? And maybe that's all on the other property, maybe it seeps in, maybe it's, those are just digital rendering, so maybe it's more on your property than you think, and so Bill has to address that.
Okay. I take that motion. Does it annul the variance request then, and I go do that and then
Well,
reapply?
Yeah, we haven't,
We can do a couple of things. We can, leave it open, leave the public hearing open.
Right.
Carry it over to next month, or whenever.
Submit additional information.
and
Also.
Yeah, he's got to speak, so.
Yeah, we can take his comments to me, certainly. I would need to ask you if you want to close the public hearing. Like with this, well, actually, I wouldn't even need to ask now.
Yeah, well,
We need more information, but
yeah, you can't approve it without no additional information.
I don't feel any, he came here, I feel he should have his right to
Oh, yeah.
speak.
I know, we'll have.
And then we'll you can come back next month, is that what you're?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Hello, my name is David Prall II. I'm one of the owners of the family farm that's on the north side of this property. Want to point out a couple things that he was talking about. Keister Road. Keister Road has been non-existent for years. This has been a hedgerow, which he actually has taken out a ton of trees all the way down through here. He's claiming he's trying to leave this little hedgerow, but meantime he's taken a whole bunch of other trees out of here. Trees would not be growing if it was an existing road or driveway. He just recently put in this roadway, or this driveway without any permissions, no right of way or from us, nothing. We've never seen a legal document. And I want to point out a couple things that I've gone through. Earlier this year, I sent.
Wait, I want to interrupt so I get the stories, I get the facts straight. Are you saying there was no gravel
There's no gravel.
along that yellow line?
No, this
Until
was all,
Mr. Willie put it to.
the old street bed that was, or
Yeah.
the street that was there, it was all sunk away. This was a complete hedgerow full of trees.
Okay.
Trees are not gonna grow on the top of a gravel driveway.
Okay.
Or a gravel roadway. I'm sorry, I don't mean to sound, I'm just
No,
very upset about this and that's I'm here tonight, that had some ongoing issues with Mr. Woolley for several months. We have a power supply that runs across our park farm, and that power supply, Mr. Woolley earlier this year tried to get RG&E to put in 2 poles to subdivide and put stuff across the line. I only found about it when I was walking the property with my kids, and come to find out RG&E had dropped the poles. When I talked to RG&E said, well, we thought this was very weird. We shut him down because we said he had to have a right of way to go across your property. And on top of that, they go, we thought it was very odd because the driveway is tiny, which it is. It looks like it's in the beginning, also curves when it comes out to the backside. Unfortunately, it's Google Maps and the Encore are not up to date. So it doesn't show his driveway, but if you see the driveway, it's going to cross the property line. The other thing I want to point out too, like, there's no structures on this property. He put in this barn back in here, and he's claiming he's converting an agricultural barn to a residential property. But yeah, it's a brand new barn. It's never had livestock or a single piece of farm equipment in it. It's not sided. It's set up to be finished as a residential property. That barn's down here, and I'm not trying to impose anything on him or whatever he does with his property. But at the same time, I want to protect my farm, make sure he's in his property lines and abiding by the setback, because right now it's on the line. And he continues to go over across the line, do these things, try to pull out through RG&E and do these other things without proper notification or going through the legal steps of getting anything in writing. And for that fact, it's continues to be an ongoing issue, and right now I'm concerned that he's across the property line. I would ask that a survey map be conducted at his expense and a survey put in at his expense, showing where the line is, and, you know, he's basically doing under false pretense for putting it under an agricultural claim, saying the driveway's an agricultural driveway, it's an agricultural farm, but at the end of the day, he's putting in a residence, that's what he's doing. So that's my biggest issue with this whole thing. He's continuing to move forward, do things quick and sudden, and doing it without permission, and then asking for forgiveness later, and that's why we're here at the variance meeting tonight. So I'm sorry. Go ahead.
How does our GE utility vehicles get to those poles?
They come across our property, they go right away on us.
Back on your property?
Yeah, they can come across on us, they're allowed to go through and they're allowed to clear around the trees, they have that permission, right? Yeah. These are high power poles, they're not poles that. For residential, they're just transmission, you get a, you know, shout over to Cheshire, that's all it is, or shout over the other, I don't know which way they run, but.
As you look at that, just to the north of the yellow line.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks like you can almost see a second, a gray line there that's not.
That's part of the property, or not the property, that is part of the utility lines.
It's part of, okay.
That's the utility line.
Okay. It's not the driveway.
Not the driveway. And that utility line doesn't come up to, or the right of way for the utility service for RG&E does not come up to the property line. That's why, you know, there would have to be a right. If he ever wanted to get electric off of our poles, he would have to go through and get a right of way from us to put the poles over. They had dropped 2 poles, so he's dropping a pole back by the barn, and he also had a pole marker back. So he's planning on subdividing. I can see that. Like I said, I'm not. If that's his wishes, that he's more than welcome to do that. I just want to make sure he is within the property lines and he's within the setbacks and the proper zone or coding for that to create residential. So right now he's trying to do everything under an agricultural exemption.
How far would you say those poles are from the property line? 50 feet?
They're ways back, yeah.
You know, farther?
I can tell you that off my head, I'll be honest.
Just curious.
That's not always the best with distances. You know, if we had a survey map, or I wish Google Earth was up to date, because if Google Earth was up to date, you could see this line. He's over on us back here, and then it does like back in here, it does loop. He even pushed brush up onto the property when he was doing it, brush on over to us. So I'm just trying to figure out what's going on with this property line, and it would be nice to have some kind of. Because all this stuff he's created in the last year and a half, or whatever, the barn, the driveway, and yeah, this one doesn't have either, it's got the driveway.
Would it be fair for me to say, most of this has nothing to do with us? We're ruling on variances on the basis of determination for, you know, how substantial.
Yeah, I think that most of this, doesn't directly tie into the variance, but I think the variance tests that you do have to evaluate, relate to the information you received from both property owners. There's also a credibility issue. One of the gentlemen that spoke said there's always been gravel there, and one said there's never been gravel there. And I find that disturbing because, only one of those things is correct.
Well, you can see even this being an old map, you can see all these trees. You can see that road's been non-existent for years. Trees just don't pop up on the road, but like that, they had a solid rock base.
So when Mr. Woolley put the gravel there to exactly the property line, are you saying there's no gravel on which that it sort of spilled onto your side?
There's no
Spilled
gravel
onto dirt?
whatsoever. He completely backfilled this after he took a dozer and went all the way through and ripped it all out. He totally backfilled it. That's why you're seeing these tree lines. I'm glad for that fact. I am glad that the old maps are still on here, but.
Okay. You have anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, I had a couple of I gave you guys copies of the RG&E if you wanted that from this year. I didn't know if the town had automatically done that, because I did send it to the town earlier this year. I didn't know if it was in the folder. I'm sorry, I didn't make enough copies for everybody, but.
Okay.
Was there ever some sort of road, like 75 years ago or something, or?
Way back before 21 South was ever rated, I believe there was something in there.
Thank you. Anyone else have any comments?
We're, we're continuing this, right? Is-
Yeah.
Yeah, one other question, Mr. Woolley. It sounds if you're dropping, and I don't know if this is the case or not. If they're planning to subdivide here?
No,
Eventually?
no, I'm not gonna subdivide.
So 2 power lines, it's inaccurate, 2
Correct.
poles.
I had requested, and I might go around this the back way, right? Because I'm not familiar, but I called RG&E, said if I want power, what are my options? And RG&E informed me to get power from the pole that's the nearest the building, that I would need a 14-foot variance from the property owners. So I called and requested that. I was instructed to put some wording into the easement that was desired by the homeowner. And so I contacted RG&E and surveyors, and surveyor has to go out and write the language. I guess it goes on the deed for an easement, of which would then go to an attorney and get sent to the neighboring properties. And once the easement's set, then RG&E could, do the service. So I had to ask RG&E what that was. They said I need a 14-foot easement. So that's telling me that the power lines, how far they are from the property line, right? At the one at least. Also from where the driveway I cleared to over to the power lines is pretty much the stretch where they mow and clean the trees. When RG&E comes and clears through there, they go 20 foot either side and buzz down through there. I originally thought that power would come overhead. I didn't know I'd need a variance, so I pulled a pole from a job and I brought it there and dropped it off, figuring this would work. But RG&E told me, no, it has to come under the ground. So you need a variance, an easement. So which I have requested and was working on. I mean, there's no real timeline. I'm in a hurry. And then this is where this kind of came up with. RG&E has dropped off 2 poles there. Just the other day, actually, they came to my road. Because 2 of the big power lines are rotted or woodpecker holes. So they're gonna replace 2 existing poles. They did mark out in when the RG&E came for the easement. And I made a mistake, I don't know if there's 2 stakes, but I know there was 1 stake placed here that David Jr. saw. And I asked what that was about. I guess the distance here is too great for power line to go, because these are high power lines, so they needed a pole here. So I can understand why they think maybe I was gonna subdivide, or I had a pole up here that I brought from the job, why is it go here? So I can appreciate that. But that's not the case. And if
Okay.
Communication would be better.
Understood, thanks for that explanation.
Wait, so they will be doing
Keep the
more
public
work.
hearing open till next month. Need some additional information, I think, particularly regarding the DEC.
Yes.
Plans.
I will chase the DC with Mr. Grove. The next meeting, will I get the cloud, give me a notice of what that meeting is or that date is?
Yes.
Be the 3rd Tuesday in June.
It's June, it's early, it's official.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wait, did anybody else want to
Comments
speak?
from you?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go back then, we've got 4699 Menteith.
Back there. I'm under com. Okay, sorry.
No worries.
There you are.
Thoughts about this?
Anybody recall what the variances were that we gave prior to this? I mean, are they online?
Are we back to Memphis now?
Yeah.
Back to them, okay.
Yes. You did say that.
My initial impression is these are small.
I'm sorry.
My initial impression is these are kind of small amounts, the 1.6 and the 4.5, we certainly had people come in asking for a lot more than that.
And I guess the permeable pavers are included in the lot coverage.
They are.
So
Right.
even though they're included in the lot coverage, they would offset some of that by setting up that sort of collection
They
basin,
change
which
that, yeah.
actually would be significant.
I know there's discussion about that, right? Aren't they? Okay. They haven't
Well, there's
changed anything
debate
yet.
as to whether or not, because they
Yeah.
actually need maintenance and otherwise
Yeah,
they become
right.
non-permeable and
Seems like-
blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah. But yes,
It's, I mean, I agree they need maintenance. They're not maintenance free, but the maintenance isn't, $20,000 a year worth of maintenance. And
Right.
I mean, it is reasonable to presume that, somebody who owns this house, even in perpetuity, probably gonna maintain the whole property, including that. I think that's the theory. That's one argument. The other is that maybe they're gonna become impervious at some
I
point.
would assume there'd be some deterioration to them and have to replace something like that. If that was the case, but an assumption. All right, well, anybody else?
Call the question.
Yes.
Sure. Shall the request for a 4.5% lot coverage variance and a 1.6% building coverage variance be granted? Shannon,
yes,
Jason,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Chip.
Yes. Okay, the benefit to the applicant outweighs the detriment to the neighborhood. Just based on information provided tonight in the folder. I think the variance is not a significant one. It's a small variance. I think we should add in that the part of the lot coverage includes pervious pavement pavers, which should actually help to improve the current drainage.
The location, this particular parcel, there's an opportunity based on where the water goes to
Currently.
treat.
Right.
Yeah, because it really has to go, I think, around the house now.
Right.
I guess the other thing, just in terms of the size of the house, I mean, it's a little bigger than it has to be, but I think the point about there being no ability to have any basement
Right.
in the floodplain.
But it's still in character of that neighborhood
Yeah.
too, because there's been other
This will be,
requests.
it's a bigger house, so to speak.
Right.
Agreed. But I recommend that your conditions of that it be specific, that variances are granted subject to this plan, less that dot, because the board makes no comment as to the dot shown on the plan.
And also the
1 year.
1 year,
Yes.
this one started in 1 year. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Okay, 5043 North Road.
Certainly the character of the neighbors.
Yeah.
Right, I mean, yeah, I think that's kind of a, it's not, yeah, now he fits in.
we could probably just call this.
Yeah, right,
City code.
Why don't
Yeah.
we call
okay, we can call it.
Yeah, sure. Shall the variance request for an 8-foot side setback be granted? Shannon,
Yes,
Jason,
Yes.
Dave,
Yes.
Kelly,
Yes.
Chip.
it? Yes. Based on what was presented here tonight, and the application, the benefit to the applicant outweighs the detriment to the neighborhood. It will not have a negative effect on the character of the neighborhood that is in keeping with the character of the neighborhood. The neighborhood is a mixed municipal neighborhoods.
Yeah.
The neighbor closest to the addition was here and provided his support.
Yeah.
Good enough.
I think we're good.
Again,
One year.
1 year.
There you go.
Stay. So you will alleviate some snowfall.
There you go.
Actually,
And she
I
can start her.
took care of it. I looked at for years and
Yeah.
she does shovel her own snow.
I thought that guy was gonna get smacked.
Just had it sitting next to.
Yeah.
you.
That was good.
Okay, good job.
And the other one we're for next month, correct?
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Alright.
Any referrals from anywhere? Approval of the minutes.
I wasn't here, so. I do have a basic question. What happened to all the things that were carried over from March?
Thanks, Chris. I had a, maybe it doesn't apply to this, but subdivision from my grandma's house on Benell Road.
Not on tonight, it's not on tonight.
Okay. Okay.
But Mike can tell you where it is.
Okay, no, I just want to make sure it is.
What?
Yeah, of course.
Carry over from
Yeah,
what?
there were a bunch of carryovers from March that weren't in the minutes for April, so.
We
We
only
didn't
had
have
a
any.
couple things. We only had 2 things in April, I think. We
Yeah.
had, Butler Road.
So what happened?
I think one or two of them got pushed, one got withdrawn, you know, I don't know, there was a couple like.
Suit was withdrawn, it's coming up next week.
Okay, so yeah, so there was like, but we had a few.
Cause I actually
Each
felt
month.
bad leaving in March because there was a lot left.
We were so swamped.
We told them you wouldn't be
They
here.
bad mouthed you a lot.
Sure.
Don't worry about it.
We
Yeah.
don't need his chip, does his magic, that's it.
Yeah.
Anything else we have? Make a motion, to approve the.
Motion to approve.
Second,
Second, Jason Pedro.
all in favor?
Okay.
You can vote even if you were here.
What?
You guys can vote even if you weren't here.
I didn't
Seems
really
like you
look at it
both
very
were
well.
informed of the word.
Yeah.
But anyway.
We were saying if these are minutes, there's no requirement.
I didn't
Look at the
look at them
minutes
though,
and if you were here.
so.
I did read them. And I was like,
Oh,
what happened?
so
Scott?
she can approve. I just feel bad, I did not open it, so
Any other motion?
I vote.
No.
What, motion? Adjourn, yes.
Second.